The very first time I ever loaded up a Battlefield game was Battlefield 1. And the very first time I did, I was literally blown away. And my heart was racing as my teammates died before my eyes, and I was stuck in a trench and explosions were going off, and I was trying to make my way up a hill and trying to get to an objective while everyone was running around with me with planes and bombs and people screaming and everybody going crazy. I felt like a goddamn war hero or part of a larger narrative in this giant field of chaos. I load up Battlefield 2042 for the first time, and the first emotion I feel is loneliness. As someone who plays COD, Call of Duty, I really wanted to like this game. I really wanted to have something to mix up my quarter 4 FPS experience. So I really wanted to give it a chance and give it the benefit of the doubt because I wasn't really impressed with the trailers coming up. But the fact is, I just didn't enjoy it. This game plays like Battlefield 4. And to me, and I put it in a video a few months ago now, Battlefield 4 is probably the most lifeless, boring game I have ever played. And I'm not going back on that statement. And yes, I played it with friends, and it was still boring. I played one match of Battlefield 2042, and I felt the exact same way I did with Battlefield 4. I felt like I was running around an empty wasteland with nothing to do or really interact with. I felt like I wasn't living in a living, breathing, interactive world, or I was part of some kind of narrative. I didn't feel like I was a part of a narrative or anything like that. Literally just felt like I was just on some map without assets loaded in, running 450 meters to just even find someone just to get shot by a goddamn tank. This map, Orbital, it just had no flow. The game just did not suck me in the way that Battlefield 1 did for the first time that I ever booted that game up. When I played Battlefield 1 for the first time, I was like super engaged. Like I said, explosions and chaos all around me, dirt, people dying around me. I had to like revive everybody with the medic. I was stabbing them with the needle, getting super satisfying kills with single action rifles with a kink, 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 super nice, precise shots. Feeling like there was a goddamn narrative happening in a conquest map, in a closed box environment. Remember that desert map where there's like those winding canyons and those little bases around? That was such an experience for me. And I remember how much fun I had playing that game that I literally looked up videos that night just trying to figure out how to improve at the game. I changed my markers. I changed everything to just figure out how to become great at the game. And I even bought Battlefield 1 twice. I bought it for the PS4 as well. And I don't like Battlefield games, but for some reason, Battlefield 1 really struck it different with me. So I'm starting to feel like this issue is coming from just the style that this game is trying to do, Battlefield 2042. In Battlefield 1, Conquest, which is the exact same mode I played right now in Battlefield 2042, Conquest in Battlefield 1 was literally my favorite mode, and I loved that mode better than Rush or anything else or Team Deathmatch. I loved Conquest because it felt like I was taking part of this big story, taking the windmill or taking this and pushing back, the enemy and stuff like that. But with 2042, it just feels like I'm just taking these meaningless beacons and I'm just facing random soldiers. And I know they're just trying to sell operators and skins just like Warzone does, but it doesn't feel immersive at all. Right? I remember in Battlefield 1, even if you just have your squad and you're all kind of nameless soldiers, it felt like the four of you had your little connection together. And I was just being a medic, and I was just healing my team, and we're just kind of taking things together and just really having this bigger impact on the game with my squad. Because as a medic, I was able to heal like everyone, not even my own squad, I could heal like random mans on my team, and I felt like I was really carrying the team. And I was like, yo, because of me and the other medics around, we were able to take this point. And I just felt like, yeah, I'm gonna save you. I got you, bro. Yo, I got you. I remember just going prone, dolphin diving into the dirt, going up to this dude, stabbing him in the leg, going, I got you, bro. You're up. Come on, let's go. And we just really putting these clutch moments over a long period of time, and just through attrition of just healing everybody and just taking down enemies. Battlefield 1, taking an objective just felt so nice, but there's none of that in Battlefield 2042. It just doesn't feel the same because you can't really revive people who are not in your squad. I wasn't really sure how it really worked, but I didn't really feel like I had this kind of unspoken bond with my squad. It just felt like it's just here. Everyone's just kind of playing for themselves. Nobody's really trying to work together. It just felt like people were just running around. That's probably just because of beta. Nobody knows what they're doing. But Battlefield 2042, man, it just feels really sterile and boring and uninspired. And it's ironic because it's supposed to be a love letter to Battlefield. But maybe Portal is supposed to be that. But I don't feel special. I don't feel like there's a love letter written for me. Well, I'm not a Battlefield fan, so it's probably not for me. But I don't care that I'm some sort of specialist girl named Dick or whatever her name was. I don't feel like I'm making any impact at all in the game. I just feel like I'm running around doing fetch quests or something. Like I don't feel like I'm helping anybody or anything. Even if I'm fighting alongside with them, I don't feel like I'm making any real impacts. It just feels like I'm just shooting lifeless corpses or something. I don't know. I guess that's why I like 6v6 more in Call of Duty. Even Halo, 4v4, because I feel like I'm able to feel like I'm special in the lobby by being number one on the board, or getting that nice triple kill that was able to take the point on domination, or getting that clutch kill or clutch kill streak in Search and Destroy, And I feel like, that's probably marketing and psychological, brain triggers, dopamine spikes and stuff that's consistently feeding my brain thanks to Activision and Call of Duty. But Battlefield 2042 doesn't really have any of that. It just feels like nothing. And maybe it's unfair to say that for a beta, but for me, that's your first impression. That's all you have. And you kind of just lost me as a player, especially if you're trying to take Call of Duty players. It just didn't really work out for me. That being said, the gunplay was fine. I enjoyed the gunplay. The gunplay was all right. Kind of weird that there's no visual recoil. Even though Battlefield 1 and 5 had some really nice visual recoil, a lot of the shooting mechanics just feels like I'm shooting Cold War weapons in Warzone. So it's, I don't know. But it did feel okay to shoot. It was all right. It wasn't really like you got to really about velocity or anything like that. Everything kind of felt really nice. But anyway, I just feel like I'm walking through like an empty wasteland of nothing. Just feels like everything I do has no meaning or impact, or I'm just another username on the board. Now, I know that BF1 was kind of the same way, but it just felt more epic. It felt like I was fighting for a larger goal, right? Even though I didn't even play the campaign, or I don't know anything about World War I other than what I learned in high school. Even BF5 had similar things to it, like, taking that city or whatever. There's more things to interact with. The buildings aren't super tall. There are tanks around, but you can kind of go through buildings and kind of get away from them. But on this map, you can't really get away from a tank. It's just out in the open. You just have a feel like you just have a goddamn hill. It kind of felt the same way I felt like World War III when I played the World War III Alpha. It just felt like this weird, unpolished, lifeless shell of a game. Now, Battlefield 2042 again. I tried to get into the action, and I know that a lot of the action and the pacing comes from being able to know how to play the game properly. So I tried to go close to the objectives. I tried to go where everybody was, and landing on my squad, getting in helicopters, and driving vehicles, which really, really bad handling. But even that chaos, it didn't feel fun to me. It just felt like unnecessary chaos, just like meaningless chaos. It didn't really feel epic. It felt like sterile chaos, if that makes any sense. It didn't have the same impact that Battlefield 1 did, right? That true chaos, that my heart was racing, right? As things exploded around me. But here it's just like, okay, man, it's exploded around me, right? It was whatever. Maybe I desensitized. But even when I was like with everybody fighting by the side, it still felt alone, not part of the team, not really part of the narrative, just like another NPC in the mix of things. Taking objectives didn't really feel satisfying. The entire time I was playing and actually fighting and actually getting into the action, it felt just short-lived. And it didn't feel really fun. It didn't feel epic to take someone down. It just felt like, all right, I finally found someone to do something in this game. I don't know, maybe it's the map design. Battlefield 1, a lot of the maps just kind of flowed well, and everything there's just a constant action all the time. It felt like Call of Duty, but with Battlefield on a larger, grander scale. But this game just feels hollow and annoying to even just go back and play. Like when you spawn in Overwatch, you got to walk all the way back from the beginning when you die. I think it's this lack of narrative, epicness, and feeling of impact is what really is pushing me away from Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield 4, right? So, like Battlefield, right? You can be bested by somebody just by like getting cheese with the helicopter. Like you could take this big old power position with your squad, or whatever, but then they'll just blow the building down, or they'll take the helicopter will just kill you, and there's nothing you could do about it except take cover, and you just feel helpless. And I know that's probably realistic, like war and stuff, but I want to feel like a badass. You know what I mean? I want to feel like a badass when I'm playing, the game. So just like how you do in like a Black Ops game or like Nathan Drake or something like that, right? But in this game, and it's ironic because you're supposed to be specialists who are like super cool and stuff, but they don't feel that cool. I don't feel like anything. It's really ironic. I felt more like a badass, playing a random ass soldier who was able to hold the point because I was reviving everybody. You know what I mean? I just don't feel it here. It's really hard to explain. Maybe Battlefield 1 was just more infantry focused and more up my alley rather than this kind of vehicle focus that Battlefield 2042 and, Battlefield 4 kind of push. But then again, I'm just some guy on the internet who just doesn't really like Battlefield style games to begin with. And of course I'm a COD shell, so I have my biases, and what do I know? All I know is that I don't want to run 450 meters up a lifeless hill and another 100 into a lifeless parking lot just to be killed by a tank or a sniper who was just camping the entire time. And it's funny, with over 100 players on the map interacting with each other in abundance of ways, I just can't shake this feeling of disconnection from everything and everyone and just feeling alone.